Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be discussing tips for the removal and replacement of the camshaft position sensors on this 2023 Nissan Altima with the 2.5 liter engine. If you find my tips to be helpful, please like, subscribe, and comment. Now let's get started. There are two camshaft position sensors on this inline 4-cylinder engine. Right here, we have the intake camshaft position sensor, and you know that because it's closest to the intake manifold, which is located right here. The exhaust camshaft position sensor is located right here, and you know that because it's located closest to the exhaust manifold. If you look back here, you can easily identify the O2 sensor and the exhaust manifold. Today, we'll be removing and replacing the exhaust camshaft position sensor at this location. Some of the symptoms associated with faulty sensors include a no start, a misfire, limp mode. The car just seems to be bogged down, clearly not running properly. And you'll also have a check engine light with trouble codes P0340 through P0344. What do these parts do? Well, they work with the engine crankshaft sensor to determine the exact position of the top dead center of the crankshaft cycle. Our supply list includes camshaft position sensors if needed. Both sensors have the same part number. You'll also need a 10mm socket with an extension and a ratchet. You may also need an oil and filter change. If you get this trouble code, the first thing you should do is check your engine oil and check the oil level, right? Because if you have extremely low oil or the oil is extremely dirty, that's going to cause a problem with these sensors. So that needs to be addressed first. Drive the car maybe 20 miles after you replace the oil and check the level. If the trouble code still stays on, then I would go back in and attempt to figure out whether or not the sensors are working properly. And with that, let's go ahead and get this sensor removed and replaced. It's pretty straightforward. And then right over the top. There you go, loosen it up. Be careful, hold on to that bolt. There you go. Set that off to the side. Carefully pull straight up on the sensor. And now you have access to this clip on the back of the connector. You're gonna push it towards the sensor and then pull it away. Okay, so squeeze, push, and pull, just like that. And there you have it. That is your exhaust camshaft position sensor. These either work or they don't, but let's go ahead and inspect them from top to bottom. You have your electrical pins. You want to make sure that those are nice and straight. There's no cracks here. The O-ring. You want to make sure that that area above the O-ring is nice and dry. That means the O-ring is doing its job. At the same time, take a look back on the engine block and see if oil is leaking out around the area where the sensor gets installed. It should be nice and dry, okay? If it's not, that means this O-ring is failing, and it could be that you could replace the O-ring without having to replace the entire sensor. So you might want to check into that. They sell O-rings online. You could buy them in multi-packs. Two things you want to watch out for is make sure that they're heat and oil resistant, okay? So that could save you a little bit of time and money right there. Next, moving down on the sensor, I've wiped this sensor off, but before you wipe it off, make sure that the very light coat of oil that's on here is very clear. Okay, if it's reddish, dirty, you could clearly see that there's buildup on here. You definitely want to change your oil and filter before replacing this sensor because that could be the primary issue. And with that, let's go ahead and get this sensor reinstalled. Reach over, press it straight down. I'm going to use my thumb and kind of Make sure that that O-ring is seated properly. There you go. Twist it back and forth a little bit. I've got my bolt hole lined up. Very carefully, get the bolt started. Okay, coming in over the top. Just needs to be snug. Coming in, take a look at the electrical connector. Make sure the gasket's in place and it's not deformed. The electrical connectors are nice and straight. Position it. Slide it in place, listen for the click. And there you have it. Well folks, that wraps up the removal and replacement of the camshaft position sensors on this 2023 Nissan Altima with the 2.5 liter engine. I hope you found my tips to be helpful. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, drive defensively.